Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Well, welcome back, everybody. If you are somebody dealing with some extra stress lately, maybe you're trying to fit everything into a day, you're not able to do that, you're feeling that maybe there's more for you out there. You know, life is okay, but could be better, but you can't put your finger on it. Or maybe you've got some major things that have happened in your life, maybe a divorce, maybe retirement is in your future potentially, but you're not really sure how to navigate all of that. Might be time to consider a life coach. And I found one that is going to grace our show today, and she would love to grace your life with change because change is inevitable. Be great if you could do it right. She is Grace, and that's her first name, actually. Grace Radacellini. I think I'm saying that right. Did I say that right?
Grace Radacellini.
Cellini. Gotcha.
You were pretty close. Most people think of a fettuccine or something when they hear my name, but it's Radacellini.
Radacellini. Well, great to have you on here. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. And I have the choice to be great every morning, so I make it. How about you?
I love the way you think, and everything in life is a choice. And for anybody that says, but you don't understand, look what just happened and that's going on. Okay, I get it. We've all been through some pretty heavy stuff from time to time, but how you react to it is your choice, right? And Grace, are you still there? I know that they're doing some construction work around you. So I don't know if we lost you.
I'm here.
Beautiful, beautiful. What are you hearing for the most part from people nowadays, people that you coach? What are they telling you?
Well, there's any number of things. A lot of people have one of the most common things is people don't know when to get started. They feel stuck. So, for example, the garage needs cleaning out, but they really don't know when they're ever going to get started. Now, this is very simplistic, but it's endemic because, first of all, take that first step, but they don't know how to do it. They don't know what's going to push them forward. Is it going to be too big a job? Oh, no, what am I going to do with everything? All those kind of things. That would be the same as weight loss. I want to lose weight. Well, let's start with how much do you want to lose? How soon do you want to lose it? Or, but for me, I work with a lot of caregivers. So you work with caregivers that have been taking care of other people for a long time. They haven't thought about themselves at all. So when it comes time to taking care of themselves, they're at a loss. What do you mean go to a movie? I don't have time. Or how am I going to take a class? I don't have time because they haven't set aside time for themselves. I would say that's probably the most common is the lack of, well, there's procrastination. That's huge. That's probably the first. And then with caregivers, it's not knowing how to set aside time for themselves.
I love what you said there about getting started because over the weekend, I don't know what inspired this, but I figured I'd clean out my file cabinet at home of paperwork, bills, and things like that. It was all like kind of stacking up. I didn't know where to begin, but I just dug into it, and then I found myself, and it's been years since I've really dug into the files and everything. I found it just getting into a rhythm. And then moving, and then exponentially getting faster. Like, all right, you move through. Oh, look what I found. I didn't even know I had that. I was looking for that like years ago. So I totally get what you're saying. The starting point is a challenge for all of us.
Right. And when you have, you think about any project that you want to do, many people have been told all their lives, oh, I don't know if that's a good thing for you to do. I don't know if that's something you can do. And those negative thoughts, those negative things that you hear, they take root in your brain. And when you want to do anything, you may find those little niggling things coming up in your mind going, no, 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 you can't do that, you can't do that. How do you get rid of those? You have to replace them with positive self-talk. We all know we have to talk better to ourselves. But if you ask yourself questions, now that's what life coaches are not therapists. They are not mentors. We are guides. We're coaches. We ask you. We don't give advice. Does that make sense?
Exactly, and very clearly. You're not a therapist. You're a life coach.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you might come to me. People do want to have relationship help. They're getting along fine and everything, but they just think they could have a better relationship. They don't know. It's often empty nesters. For instance, if they have their kids have all moved out, they spent so much of their time taking care of their family and being, you take them to practice, you take them to dance class, you do this, you do that, I'll do this, I'll get the food on, blah, blah, blah. All that's over. So now they look at each other and go, now what? What are we going to do? What did we do before? I can't even remember. But maybe they don't need to go back to what they did before. Maybe they need to find some common ground or some way that they can go forward together or even separately and come together and talk about it. But that's what guidance, without judgment, without, you did this wrong and you did that. But it's not therapy. It's guidance. It's asking appropriate questions to spin thought, so to speak.
I would also imagine, too, that it's the accountability.
Absolutely. Accountability is very important. You want to take vague ideas, and turn them into vivid, actionable, attainable goals. So a life coach will help you identify and focus on what's important, which will accelerate your success. It's a journey of transformation. It'll unfold in each coaching session, which is how you don't plan what you're going to say with your folks, with your clients. And the clients don't necessarily plan what they're going to do, but you come in with some guidelines, and you go away with some accountability. Okay, to this, for instance, let's use weight loss, because that's really easy. So somebody comes in and they say, I want to lose weight. So my question would be, and how much weight do you want to lose? What does losing weight look like to you? What steps can you take toward your goal? Okay, so we would work with some simple things like that. But it's going to expand, because when they come back and they've been given, like, say, all right, they tell me what they think they can do to lose weight. Now, they might say, I've tried everything. Well, of course, they haven't tried everything, because this is their first time coming to see me. So coming to see me, we're going to talk about other things. We're going to find out what in them they can do. So when they figure out, and I just ask questions, they give me the material. It's all within them. And I just ask them the questions to guide them and to keep them from their distractions. Because distractions, well, that's the huge off-railer. And when I say that we have people coming in and they have this idea in their mind, they're hot to trot when they leave the session. They got great ideas. They're ready to go. But then that mind speak will start to come in. So one of the things we might do is talk about what to do when that happens. And everybody has their own way of handling it. And you know yourself. I don't know you. You know yourself. So you help me to understand what I can help you mold so that you can get rid of those things, start your journey of transformation, not be afraid, and then we can witness those milestones together. It's the path towards your own empowerment and growth.
Do you feel that we all know the answer? We all know what we want. It's inside of us, but we can't hear it. Some of us can't pull that information out.
Yes, I think that's true. I think that we all, well, sometimes it's buried pretty deep, but I think it's there. I just think it's a question of igniting the imagination, of connecting to your why, understanding what that is. And people might have lots of different belief systems. So as a coach, I need to understand that they have a different belief system perhaps than I do. My belief system cannot get in the way of my talking to them. Their belief system cannot get in the way of them talking to themselves either. And it's about believing in those big ideas, those big visions, and working towards it.
How does the process work? Can you kind of step us through that? Somebody meets you, and how does Grace go on her fact-finding mission to give them the best results?
Well, first of all, we have a short conversation to find out what they want to do. I want to create a safe environment where people can see themselves more clearly. I want to identify gaps from where the client is and where they want to be or think they need to be. And then I ask for intentional thought, action, or behavior changes that the client would have asked of themselves but didn't know how to. So we identify those things. And then we work together to build the structure of accountability and support necessary to ensure a sustained commitment. Number one, I have to know that they're committed to the change that they seek. If they, it's like every athlete needs a coach, whether they're the most wonderful athlete in the world and they're going along great. If they get in with a coach, the coach can help them achieve what is beyond what they thought their limits were. Well, that's what life coach is. We set our own limits, but maybe we don't need to set those limits.
How did you get involved in all of this? What drove you to want to help people?
I think it's been my lifelong thing. I'm number 7 in a family of 8. I had 5 brothers. What do you think I was doing? My sisters got out as fast as they could, I'll tell you.
Wow. You were the sister therapist, I guess.
I was the second to the youngest, like I said, 7th child in a family of 8. My mother was she was a genius, but along with genius comes sometimes bipolar. And so we moved 116 times from the time I was born until I was 16 years old, and I moved out on my own. I had already graduated high school, and I was in college, and I thought, I can't do this anymore. Wound up that I was my mother's caregiver for many years, so I understand what caregivers go through. And, there may have been a whole bunch of brothers and sisters, but I was named after her, so I was the one she chose. She knew I'd be there. She knew she could count on me. And I learned that I didn't have to have the limitations put on by other people. I was married for a lot of years and with children. I have, and I coached softball. I coached drama. I taught gifted programs for school. It seemed like I was always giving advice, but people really don't want advice. They really don't want advice. You can tell somebody, yeah, I think you should do this. The minute you start saying, I think, you're giving advice. Nobody wants your advice. And in fact, they can be pretty angry with you when your advice didn't turn out for them. Because you're coming with your own opinions, you're coming with your own ideas, and you're trying to tell them what to do. They already have dealt with people telling them what to do. So I think that my biggest thing was how can I help people not be running around trying to get other people to tell them what to do? So I don't. I'm not an advice giver.
Funny you should say that. I'm in a men's group, have been for about 8 months. I never thought I would do it. Never thought I would join a group like that. And we're a community service and leadership group, and we help other men. We hear what's going on. And the number one thing we say, we had a meeting last night, and that is, we don't give advice. And even if a man is giving a situation that he's dealing with, maybe he's expecting to hear some advice, we always say, well, you might want to look at it this way. You might want to look at it that way, whatever the response is going to be, but we don't give advice. So to your point, because I don't want to be responsible, number one. Number two, people don't want to hear advice half the time, again, right?
No, they don't. How many times have you been advised to do, unless you're going to a financial advisor? You want them to say, yes, put your money in this market, put your money in this market, and it'll grow for you. Now, if the financial advisor is wrong, do you go home and say, I shouldn't have done that? No, you say, I shouldn't have listened to my financial advisor.
Right.
However, financial advisors have a lot of information, and they do a really good job. But that's different. That's a different thing, I think.
I never thought of it that way. We never chastise the person that dispensed the advice. We take it on ourselves because we listen to the advice. We didn't. Goes back to what we said at the very beginning here. You have a choice. So you don't have to listen to you chose to listen to that financial advisor's advice and then act upon it.
Yeah. But luckily, there are so many places, like with therapy. I think therapy has a place. I think that many people need it. But people come to life coaches. If a life coach sees that somebody is really struggling, and the struggle is not just about direction, but it's more about finding out their past and all that sort of thing. Yes, the past helped shape us, but it's the future that we need to make our decisions about. We can make no decisions about the past except to let it go. And nobody lets it go. You can forgive yourself for things you did in the past. You can try to forget, but you never do. So what can you really do? You can go forward. If you have things that are really horrible and are impacting your present, then go to a therapist. But if what you're doing is just trying to get to move forward, to change things, to do things like that, to get over obstacles, that is what I think is important, because that's what it is. It's like having a pebble in your path, That's the difference with life coaching. Therapy is much, much deeper.
What's your thoughts on the past in a sentence? A takeaway from looking at the past, or just seeing what our past has done for us, and then also the future. Because the game changer for me was realizing that I need to live in the present.
Right.
Somebody said that to me about 4 years ago. It took me a little while to figure that out. And then once I did, I was like, oh, yeah, all right. The present is really great. There's nothing wrong. Take this moment right now. Slice it right there. That second. Bam, right there. All right, here's another one right here. What's wrong with it?
Excellent. That is absolutely perfect. And then when you come across something that previously was an obstacle because many people do. They live in their past. They think about their past. They see it, and they even blame their present on their past. Well, what you did, taking a slice, setting it aside, and, that was the past. Okay, now I'm here. This is today. What am I doing today? How can I go forward from today? Yes, this shaped me. What did I learn from it? Let me take the best takeaway I can take from that, and let's go forward. And that's what I think. I think the past is important because it's what shaped you, but you can't live in it.
No.
It's already done.
How do you let it go? For example, let's say somebody from your past did something really bad, or maybe continues to. And of course, it's going to sting. It's going to hurt. Let's say you spent a lot of time with that person, and they're still in your life for whatever reason. How do you let them and the situation go and move on?
That's a very difficult question because, of course, we're all going to handle things differently. But for myself, I think about what is most important to me. And I have to think about what is most important to me because the person who is inflicting the hurt or the harm has their own issues to deal with. They need to deal with their issues. For me, if they're inflicting pain on me, I have to look at that. Oh, that kind of hurt a little bit, but it isn't life-changing. That upset me, but I can let that go because this person is hurting. This person doesn't affect me. I can let that go. What they did to me back then, they did to me back then. I don't have to let them hurt me every single solitary day. No, I've got other things to do. I've got a life to live. I don't need this. So you just have to learn to say, compartmentalize, so to speak. This person is not as important in my life. I don't need them. I need to make sure that I'm taking care of me and the people that don't hurt me. Does that make sense?
It does, and I love the way you did that. You didn't give advice. You said, this is the way I handle it. So very, very tactfully done, very carefully done. I appreciate that. Lots to dig into here. When somebody works with you, I would assume they go to your website. Is that the best way to find you?
Best way is my website, and I haven't delved into putting too much into the social media, especially nowadays. But I am considering doing a little bit more, and I have community groups that reach out to me and things like that. But my website, which it's Grace Your Life with Change, but because that's so long, I shortened it to just the first initials of each word. So it's GYLWC. And I don't know if that's confusing to folks and whether I should take it back out to Grace Your Life with Change, but I think it's pretty easy. And they can email me. I have Grace at, again, just the initials, GYLC.com, and I will answer right away.
Love it. And you can do coaching anywhere. By way of virtual. Yeah. Fantastic. Love the name, by the way. Even if it's GYLWC.com, Grace Your Life with Change. Change is inevitable. And whether we like it or not, we need to change. We can't stay the way we are. So I love how you embrace it. It is the only
constant in life. It is the only constant.
Yep. And probably one of the biggest challenges for most of us. Because we crave familiarity. Grace, great having you on here. Again, everybody, if you want to start the conversation, make that change. Give your life some grace. GYLWC.com. Appreciate you being here, and looking forward if we ever get a chance to get together again.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure talking with you, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak.
Thank you. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind, like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind, like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama, like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.